Mr. Head Coach, well done. It's only a draw, it's only 1 point, but you had to think very carefully about your selection tonight, Carlos. The players, did they deliver for you? How happy are you with that?
I think that the players did the effort that the game was demanding today. We know that we played versus one opponent that they didn't lose in the last, or only one game they lost in the last 10 games, and they arrived here with a very good dynamic of the results. We knew that today to face them, we had to play with a lot of character, with a lot of mentality, with a competitive mind, and I think the team did exactly what the game was demanding today.
You had to ask the team to fight physically more than usual, Carlos, today, and that was reflected by your selection. Just let us in on the thinking behind who you picked. Sanogo up front. Explain.
I think it's clear that Cardiff, they are in the top of the league in the goals that they score in the set pieces. We know that they are very direct team. We knew that to avoid any goal of them is a high challenge, because it's a team that, if you analyze the goals in the last game, they score like 7 goals in the last 2 games. So it means that they are offensive team. They are very aggressive in all the set pieces situations. So I think it was important for us to balance the physical game with a lot of mentality, and at the same time, one team that plays a lot high, to have the option to play with one striker that can allow you to play directly without pass from the midfielders, go directly to the last line is a good option for us too, because if not, we are more predictable team, trying to play every pass from the defenders to the midfielders and from the midfielders to the attackant. So to have the alternative with Sanogo to can play more directly is one very good possibility that he brings to the team. So it was very clear to have players ready for the set pieces, to have players ready for all these type of aerial challenges that today the game had, was one of the key points of the game.
And it also allowed Fraser Campbell some freedom in a very unusual position, if that's the right way to call it, because we saw him in a different part of the field that we're not used to seeing. How did you think that worked?
I think Fraser Campbell is one player that can play with another striker, and it means that he can draw, he can lead the game, and he can even giving passes, receiving back to the goal, to the pass to the player that he has in front of him. So I think it shows that he's one striker, like I say many times, that have a lot of possibilities, a lot of versatility in terms of the game. He can play as a number 9, he can play as a number 10, and he can play with another striker. That is not easy, because not every striker can play with another one close to him.
We're very appreciative of Ryan Schofield's performance tonight as well, Carlos. His save's very important to keep Cardiff out.
No doubt that today get the clean sheet was important, because long time the team didn't get the clean sheet. Unfortunately, the clean sheet didn't bring us 3 points, but I think the step of Ryan was an important step, because he's a player that, with this type of performance, he confirmed that he's the right keeper to have in the team.
It's quite an achievement to keep Cardiff out in any situation, because they're the second highest scorers in the division before tonight. How proud are you of that achievement?
I think I am proud about the mentality of the players. I'm proud about the character, how they play. I'm proud about how they compete. But at the same time, totally disappointed, because 1 point, when you were feeling that maybe you could get something else, like you say, is not enough.
There is one other subject, Carlos, that we've got to discuss. And it's a subject we've discussed before in our conversations after matches, because tonight, for all his qualities and character, Yaya Sanogo has become the 3rd Huddersfield Town player to miss a penalty this season. You've got a problem to solve there, haven't you?
I think we did one penalty. The first one that they did one penalty was Bacuna. The second one that after missed the penalty was Fraser Campbell, and we were finding Sanogo, one player that in his career he had done this type of situation, and he was thinking that he had enough confidence to do in the training situations. He was showing this confidence, and he allowed us to be thinking that he could be the best option during the time that he was in the pitch. So we select him, because what we watch in the training, what we practice in the training, he was comfortable doing this, maybe because the fatigue affected a little bit, and he was the first one. Bacuna was the second one to take the penalty, and these are the moments that every striker or every player who take the penalty have the option to score, and at the same time have the option to miss the penalty. It's a pity, because of course when you are having 3 penalties and you have missed the 3 penalties, you cannot be thinking that it's something positive. You are thinking that it's something that we need to solve, because sometimes in this situation is the difference between to have the 3 points and not to have the 3 points.
I realise this is difficult, and I certainly don't know the solution, but as head coach, how do you deal with the situation now that you selected Sanogo, he missed? Do you go back to square one? Do you go back and start from the beginning in your selection of who the penalty taker should be?
I think Sanogo was the first option and Bakuna was the second option. When they are in the pitch, Holmes is another option that he can take the penalty. So I think between these three players, we need to continue training this situation. We need to continue being focused. We need to forget about the past and try to, if we have another penalty, to have the right mentality to score the goal because it's what the team needed.
Are you not concerned, Carlos? How worried are you about the fact that these penalties keep being missed?
I don't like that today we didn't get the 3 points. It's my only feeling right now because I think the team did a lot of effort today, a lot of commitment in the back of the point that we get, and unfortunately we couldn't score this goal. And maybe after they will have scored another goal. So I cannot predict the result that will happen after we score in this action. No, but of course, it's one clear chance, one of the more clear 3 chances that we have very clear today, and it was a pity that we couldn't score in any of the 3 clear chances that we had.
What we did also notice is that when you substituted Yaya Sanogo, when he came off, you were very sympathetic with him and encouraging about the positive side of his performance. How has he reacted to what has happened on the field tonight?
I think I can valorate what he did for the team today in the first time that he was playing one game in the first 11 from 1 year ago. And I think the effort that this guy did today was fantastic, unbelievable for the team. The idea was to play with him maximum 45 minutes, but he could keep going and keep playing. And I think I was watching a lot of character and strong mentality in the back of one player that is a long time without playing. Today, play the minutes that he played today.
Good selection, very good selection, Mr. Coach. Very busy week. Lots of interviews for you as well, which we appreciate. How are you going to use the free time that you've got before Queen's Park Rangers away?
We are going to use this time, first of all, to recover because the number of games that we are playing is too high. It was today the 7th game in a row without stop. So it means that now the players need the break. The players now need the weekend. The players that didn't play are going to be involved tomorrow with the beating game that we have, the friendly game. And after this, just prepare one game with one normal week. That is something that is not usual this year in the Championship.
Carlos, get some rest as well, please. Thank you very much for talking to us live on BBC Radio Leeds.
You're welcome.